Hello everybody, I'm Alexy Khrabrov, the organizer of SF Scala, and here we're on location at Twitter talking about the past and the future of Scala. And we've talked to the folks who made Scala happen at Twitter and made Twitter such a success story. And now we have with us Adrian, who is the future of Scala, who is working on Scala C, who's going to talk about the future of Scala. And basically, I'm kind of reiterating this theme which ICM had celebrating the first 50 years of computing. They said, you know, let's celebrate 100 years of computing. So we celebrated kind of 5 years of Scala at Twitter, and we celebrated the 10 years of Scala at Twitter. And I wonder what's in store, what's happening, what's going to happen.
Oh, wow. Looking into the future. Well, my talk tonight was going to be a little more pragmatic about what's in store in the next couple of years. And I think what they were most excited about is community. And we're seeing it grow, and we have seen it grow in the recent past, and I expect that growth is going to skyrocket soon. And so if you're talking 100 years from now, it's world domination.
That's right,
if you're talking in a couple of years from now, it's just a really healthy, active community and very stable Scala distribution.
That's great. So I've seen like you guys making huge progress in making Scala faster, well documented. So are we in the age of stability, or are there any surprises in store?
No, we're very much in the age of boring stability. As much as it pains a lot of those working out Scala who came from research, we very consciously made this step to the dark side and committed to what we know as Scala 2.0. And even for the next major release, there will be changes because we want to move a little bit more quickly than Java did when they were our age. Even they are picking up their pace now, and I think they've learned the lessons of the stagnations of the past that, it's a tough balance to strike. But we're definitely on the edge or on the side of conservative stability rather than the excited changes that even as recently as 2.10, added a lot of features. You've seen in 2.11 that slowed down a lot, and that trend is going to stabilize now, I think.
That's great. I think the evidence that we sit in the building, which is basically paid for by Scala, is a great motivation to keep it working for businesses and achieve the same web scale. So we really appreciate that effort. I want to ask you, how did you become a Scala guy, and how does one become a Scala C tech lead? What does it take?
Right. Well, I hope it's a lot easier now than it was in 2006. That's one of the key goals that we have for ourselves at TypeSafe, is that we want to be really friendly to new contributors and make it really clear how to become a contributor. How to steal my job, maybe I won't give that away just yet, but I can tell you how I got into it. This was in 2006 when I was doing research for my PhD, and I was looking for a Haskell that had subtyping and that was a little more friendly to someone who was brought up on Java. And clearly, Scala isn't a Haskell, so in that sense I was a little disappointed. But I've gotten over that, and I've seen how it shines with subtyping and built on a nice platform like the JVM. So I got into it through research, but I stuck through with it because of the excitement of engineering Scala.
That's great. So I think Scala gives us, in my personal opinion, the best of two worlds, right? You basically have a lot of fun. You can have a Haskell, but you can actually do it at scale and in a kind of business setting, right? Which actually lets you accomplish and achieve some real impact, right? Which on the one hand makes it necessary to create a wider adoption and community support. On the other hand, it still lets us kind of have fun things doing it. So what is your ask, I would say, of the Scala community? This is a community event, this is a meetup, some of the biggest Scala communities in the world, and we're kind of at the heart of it. So what would you ask Scala developers watching this and looking at other talks and coming to Scala conferences, where you as a Scala compiler tech lead kind of would appreciate the most help?
Well, there's several areas. So I think documentation is a great area to contribute. You can immediately see the impact of what you're doing. Helping us review pull requests, submitting your own pull requests, no matter how big or small. Actually, we prefer small ones. Big ones are probably something we want to discuss first. But yeah, I think helping us grow both the maturity and the stability of Scala, the language, and the friendly nature of the community, the helpful nature of the community that I experienced in the beginning and that I experienced in 99% of my interactions. I would like to get to 100% of friendly interactions and helpful interactions, helping people learn no matter what their background is. But most importantly, it's the contributions, I think, and like we're gotten to a point that we need help reviewing pull requests because we get so many people submitting their own pull requests already. So that's I think something that's very exciting for us to see as a team, that we can kind of start handing over the reins to a bigger team that can take their responsibility and start reviewing pull requests.
That's exciting. That's exciting to know. So, and I think I'll close on the same question as previous speakers. You know, what's in store in the next 5 years? Where would you like to be when we meet here 5 years in the future and review Scala Twitter?
Yeah, well, I'd still like to be working on Scala. I'd like to maybe, you know, at some point have a little breather to work on some experimental features that go back to my. You mean personally what I would like to do, or what I like to see for Scala?
Scala, both.
Well, so personally, you know, I would enjoy, you know, working some more on the technical, like the deeply technical side, which is how I started. And right now, as a tech lead, I'm mostly making sure that other people can contribute to Scala. But you know, what I would expect and hope to see for Scala is that we're going to outpace Java in the innovation front. So we'll keep living on Java, and maybe, you know, we will move to JavaScript VMs. But I see a lot of growth potential on the Java platform, and making use of all the features that they're going to come out with, and at the same time, you know, building on our experience with 10 years of functional programming on the JVM of having all the standard libraries, the great documentation, the great community around that, so that we have a really solid foundation of a huge base of Scala developers that can really, you know, judge when it's good to use O and when it's good to use FP, and where that line becomes blurred, and a natural, you know, FP is a natural tool in your developer's tool chest.
And hopefully we'll use Scala.js to do all the web programming we need.
A lot of excitement there, yeah. I mean, it's great to see that community grow, and I mean, there's so much untyped code out there on the front end, and that's what people get, you know, frustrated with when they visit your website. So I definitely see a lot of potential of a language like Scala helping people develop more stable front ends. But I'm pretty confident that the Java platform on the server side has a long life ahead of it still. Yeah.
I agree, and I think, you know, we share this common goal for elimination, so we'll see where we are in 5 years. Thanks, Adrian.
Yeah,
it's great to have you. We're looking forward to your talk.
Yeah, see you in 5 years, or maybe a little sooner.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.